Resistance to 32 for a while now. False break. Wait, no. RSI's at 30. Tight build up, 30 to 32. No way. Holy shit. It's coming.
Well, as the old saying goes, welcome to Stock Talk Live. It's been an active day, folks. You know, of course we're going to talk about GME. Of course we're going to talk about FTX. Of course we're going to talk about the implosion of freaking Deutsche Bank and how their credit default swaps are up to freaking 400 basis points. We're also going to have a customer review of Lowe's. So tune in later. And shout out to Dutch farmers. They're going. And I think we have a clip from
for now.
Yeah.
Saturday going down.
Oh yeah. Farmers, hey, stand with them. The Netherlands, they can. Well, the soccer team at least can. They're going to go down. And I think we got a nice clip from Tucker Carlson tonight. So it's going to be an action-packed show.
Couple good clips.
Definitely. Well, immediate news. The market was up 750 today. My God. I was really surprised, obviously, by that. Jay Powell went a little neutral finally. Someone got to him. Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh, hey, Chris, how are you? So, it's just, I didn't expect that. I thought he might be a little bit more, I didn't think he would be so dovish, but I guess the market took what he said today, up 750 and 2%, and we're at, 34.5 now, and it's just off to the races. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Not ridiculous, but, it's interesting. The ADP number came out today. That was a big miss. And if you take out the jobs and bartenders and whatnot, then we actually lost jobs. So I don't know. So you have to read the numbers under the hood, as we say on the show.
117,000 jobs were added, right?
Yeah, but if you
200,000,
yeah, but if you subtracted the I think it was the bartenders and other jobs, or it's actually it would actually have been down about 100,000. And on top of that, manufacturing jobs we lost 100,000 manufacturing jobs. What's that called? Last month, which is never good. But no, just exciting times. Who knew? Exciting times here. I actually missed the thing about Tucker, so I'm actually intrigued about this. I did not watch this.
Yeah, so it's related to the title. I don't recall who it was. I didn't write it down, but it's in the clip, and you can it's real short. You can just see this guy in his mind. He's saying, "Don't say bribe, don't say bribe, don't say bribe," and then this happens.
As someone involved in business would, why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B?
And that added syllable in B, he knows he fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Give me a break.
I don't think we're going to run out of diesel. Kind of a sensationalist headline. We talked about it before, how there's roughly 3 to 4 weeks worth of diesel on hand. It's only a couple days less than we normally keep on hand. And if we didn't import any more, yeah, we would run out in that long. But that's assuming that things just shut down.
Yeah, that's assuming a lot. So for us, let's talk about the scenario to run out of diesel here. What would legitimately have to happen? The first thing that would probably have to happen is that railway strike would that would have to happen. Right before Christmas, the railroad unions just say, you know what, all set. We're just getting away. You are promised a short pipeline, Mike. I mean, hey, a couple days, I apologize that your shortage is not here. I do. I mean, on behalf of Stock Talk Live, I mean, there is definitely a shortage. There's no doubt about that. But in order for us to completely run out, it would take a railway strike. Hey Pat, it would definitely take like a something obviously to like some sort of sabotage, whatever, to happen to a huge refinery, to one of the major refineries and whatnot. And I think finally Europe would, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, hit the post, but, and I wish Boner James was here, but like Europe would have to undergo like a major, major weather phenomenon, like major cold weather, so that they start producing more heating oil and whatnot than diesel, maybe natural gas. I don't think we're going to run bone dry yet.
Not yet. I did read something interesting about like the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, and with winter coming, or some would say it's already here, that Russia's kind of waiting out Europe, and can we starve them of resources throughout this winter, and they're going to freeze. And then the other side is, well, how long can Russia last without like big customers for this gas?
So Russia right now is selling like their oil at a 40% discount to China and India, and that demand is not going to go away. That's just truth. So Russia does have like obviously like income streams like coming in and whatnot, from China and India. And India has basically came out and said that we're not gonna, we're still gonna like import, Russian oil regardless of the situation in Ukraine. And then China definitely has as well. I mean,
though the U.S. said that if India continues to purchase Russian gas, then they can't use like U.S. Intermediaries to do that, like credit and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
don't know if that was a threat or if it's actually in effect.
I don't think it's actually in effect yet. I mean, I think that would be a bigger headline.
I think it was a threat too.
Yeah, I mean,
like keep it up and see.
Yeah, and do what? Like, yeah, good luck with that. I mean,
and India and China, they're both able to buy Russian gas at that discount because they pay in rubles, right?
Yeah, that's Russia's thing, is that as long as you pay in rubles, that you can continue to conduct business. Grindr stock price.
There you go. Yeah, we missed that. What was it last week? Grindr actually went public.
I don't know the market. I don't think it's really public news.
I don't even know what it's at.
Yeah, I really
it IPO'd this month.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I can't really comment on the stock price of FTSE that has joined. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think the greater investment community really knows about that right now. So I think we're just gonna have to buckle up and enjoy the ride and see what FTSE joining does to the stock. What is the? Oh, about 60. Oh, that's a good joke. About 69 shares,
Yeah, 691.
It's at $6.91.
Yep. Shot up on the IPO. Peaked at, I'm seeing 63.71.
Damn.
I see that with a lot of IPOs. Alibaba did that. Robinhood did that.
What, surge?
Run up real fast as soon as it's available, and then just tank.
Yeah. Not to date myself on my age, but I remember Netscape went up to 83 when it first came out. That was back in like 1995. Yeah, I think it sold at like 40, 50 something. But yeah. Getting back to crypto, I mean, I thought that was that is like, to escape saying bribe. I mean, look, like we've talked about it. I mean, that whole thing with FTX is ridiculous. I mean, how no one like saw that coming? Like,
I mean, besides Bernie Madoff, like this is the biggest Ponzi scheme of our lifetimes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
unbelievable. Absolutely. And so he spoke, Sam Bankman-Fried He spoke today virtually, attended virtually. What was that summit in New York City? I don't have the clips. Steve Robinson was tweeting out a bunch of clips from him speaking. Big takeaway: he was a billionaire and claims he only has 100,000 to his name now. Only.
Oh.
It's hiding out in the Bahamas. That 100K will go pretty far there, I bet.
Yeah, it will. But I mean, there's people who have lost like millions upon millions of dollars. I don't think you'd want to advertise where you are right now, especially if you only have $100,000. I mean, someone could obviously.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's advertising where he is. It's known.
It's just
like
known,
somebody tracked his flight.
And,
I think he's being held. Well, he's not being held there, but the Bahamas will not extradite him.
Yeah,
it's all planned.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the clip today where he said, like, I wish I knew I was smart enough to embezzle, like, money from Ukraine and the United States. I mean, first off, like, that's a horrible look. Like, people have lost millions of dollars. I mean, for God fucking sakes, like, why are you saying that? That's not even funny.
Tone deaf, nothing to lose.
No, I know. I mean, how many Mai Tais did you have at the effing bar last night? Just shot that one off. I mean, honestly, I just don't.
Are Mai Tais vegan?
I honestly don't know. The other thing too is, like, especially with this crypto, is the damage that he's done to crypto's just not legitimacy, but just reputation. And crypto, like, whether or not you believe in it or not, or whatever, that's besides the point. Like, it does have a place in in the economic cycle and in the financial world. Just because you don't want to deal with it doesn't mean that other people, you know what I mean? Like remember, I mean, people, they always used to say, "Oh, why are you paying someone in PayPal?" And now, all of a sudden, like, a lot of independent contractors and businesses all accept PayPal and Venmo and whatnot. I mean, Cash App, whatnot. It's just, I think it's just rather ridiculous. I mean, I think it's a little ridiculous that, number one, this guy is free. And I know the whole Bahamas thing. I mean, I'm surprised someone has not made a run at this, try to find this guy. And not yet. I mean, I'm not suggesting that, by the way.
Nope.
But
you mentioned tarnishing the reputation, potentially the legitimacy of crypto. I saw, what was this, yesterday? No, 2 days ago. Crypto exchange Bitfront shuts down per Reuters. Bitfront said it has suspended new signups and credit card payments as of November 28th and will suspend withdrawals on March 31st, 2023. So at least you can still get your money off the exchange, but they're shutting down.
I think a lot of people
unlike FTX, where people who held their Bitcoin or whatever coins on there, they were never there in the first place. Yeah. You put money in and it went right to SBF.
No, I know. And it was just,
I know I sounded like a crazy person all this time saying that's what your broker does, but it really happened with FTX. You put the money in, we'll buy your Bitcoin. You want to buy one Bitcoin, just for the sake of argument? You want to buy one Bitcoin? Okay. Take your money and we'll put that one Bitcoin on your account. And we're actually going to buy it at a later date because we think the price of Bitcoin is going to go down. We can get a deal.
Yeah.
And they just never bought it.
No, I know. I mean, SEC lending right now, especially with the interest rates where they are, is huge. Like, so just for the people who are watching, with SEC lending, it's just that if, say, you own like a mutual fund or whatever, one of the ways that the mutual fund can make money is that they'll loan out securities of, like, not illiquid stocks, but stocks that get, don't trade, or it's tough to get, whatever. So they'll loan them out, and then they'll get the dividends of the people who, loan them. They'll pay off the dividends, and they'll pay you like an interest rate, like per day, basically. It's not like, right now for some, companies, yeah, it's like 1 or 2%, but for like GME and other companies that all the shares are bought up, it's a lot of money. They get, 10, 11, 12% to loan those out. And it's a big money making thing. And I'm sure for Bitcoin, there's only so many Bitcoins. I mean, I'm sure FTX is doing the exact same thing. do I think they were making like 10 or 12%? Probably not. But the 3, 4, or 5 on millions of dollars, that adds up very fucking quickly. And you can make money. And those, wire transfers get wired to you, I mean, in some cases, daily. So,
there is a finite amount of Bitcoin available.
Yeah.
There are a finite amount. Like there will eventually, like right now, there's still some that need to be unlocked, but there eventually will be a cap when no more will be released.
Yeah. And I'm not a crypto guy by any stretch, but I do understand the logistics and the schematics of second lending. And if you have directly registered, not directly registered, but if you have 6,000 shares and you want to loan them out and make some money, it's a good way to do it.
That's actually a pretty good segue. Lending shares. Today is the anniversary of 2 events for GameStop. Let me zoom in here. So a year ago today, Fidelity showed an error. Over 11 million additional shares became available for shorting, and they corrected it at 12:10 p.m. on that day a year ago. And it just so happened that that's when GameStop's share price on that day stopped declining to the minute. I thought that was interesting. The other interesting thing, anniversary today, because of this, Market Watch put out an article. Do you know what I'm about to show?
I should, but
so Market Watch put out an article, and they included this guy's tweet in it, and he is not a fan of Market Watch, so he changed his Twitter name, his handle, to fuck Market Watch, and he changed his profile picture to a butthole.
Fidelity. Oh boy.
Thought that was a funny troll.
No, definitely.
Wet Dirt Kurt. Shout out.
No, I mean, I think it's been well documented. There's so much going on behind the scenes with that stock. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
We got updated DRS numbers.
How much they rolling now? Wow.
59.5%. And so this portion, you can see it here, but if you take off all these institutions, we take off the mutual funds, we take off ETFs, we take off insiders and stagnant shares. Retail DRS, 30% of all outstanding shares. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
So that's not retail owning a third of the company. That's a third of the company's been directly registered and climbing.
Yeah, and it's definitely harder obviously it's definitely harder for the institutions to get shares of GME if basically 30% of the float is directly registered, because a lot of the institutions are not going to loan to each other. I mean, I don't, and it'd be harder for like mutual funds like ETFs and whatnot to get those, because if you're going to pay a ton of money to get those on loan and interest and whatnot, second lending interest, it's not worth it.
This is short interest from yesterday, or excuse me, this is volume. GameStop volume yesterday was a new low at 1.9 million shares trading. There's that asterisk. I don't know if you can read it, but on the 25th, trading was only open until 1 o'clock. So kind of doesn't fit. That 1.1 is misleading, but we got the asterisks there. Again, low volume. And the other news for GameStop, a week from today, they'll have their earnings call. So December 7th, we got to wait. A lot of people think hopefully this will be a profitable Q3. I think the big anticipation is hopefully GameStop reports DRS numbers again. They've done it, I think, the last 3-4 quarters in a row. And that's something tangible that the company has full transparency. They can see who has shares directly registered with ComputerShare. So it'll be months delayed, because we'll be on December 7th, and those numbers will be through the end of Q3 or whenever they have the cutoff. But you can go back and kind of extrapolate how many and how accurate that bot was on computershare.net. But I sent Robbie something privately, and I saw a write-up. Excuse me. I read a write-up that we're looking for. What did I say? Like 90 something million confirmed. And then we can go back and determine it's like 145,000 shares are being directly registered every day.
Yeah.
Don't need to show you my Discord.
I think,
and then using that 145-ish thousand shares being directly registered every day pushes the timeline to like January or February, to when there will be more shares directly registered than there are short sold shares. So it kind of makes closing those short positions tough or impossible.
No, it definitely does. It does, because number one, like, you need people to, you need to get more shares, And
where are you going to get them from? Because people aren't selling.
Exactly.
They're not selling. Like it. I read a bunch of articles. Like, there's one suggesting that this low volume was really distribution of shares. I don't agree with that at all. And the DRS numbers we've been getting from the company don't line up with that narrative at all. If directly registered shares are increasing quarter after quarter after quarter, even at an increasing rate, nobody's selling. They're buying more and they're directly registering. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. You
can't tell me people are selling when this number of people that are holding is increasing.
Yeah. And the other thing too, it's just like, that's obviously a fallacy, but directly registered, that number has to be right. Because if it's not right, the feds are going to come after a ComputerShare. It makes no sense for ComputerShare to lie about that. They're making plenty of money. Like, if people are directly registering, it costs money to do that. It costs money to trade. It costs, they're making plenty of money. Like, they're not going to sacrifice their reputation on that. And just so other people know, ComputerShare has hundreds of directly stocks that they do this for. You can directly register
thousands
for. Or thousands, yeah.
Or maybe not thousands, but more than 1,000.
Yeah. So it makes no sense. They
represent like a third of all companies on the planet.
Yeah. So it makes no sense for them to cook the books on GameStop. None. If just reputationally on the street and just reputationally with individual investors, it makes no bleeping sense. All right. You want me to go on a tangent about Lowe's or no? What do the viewers want? Put a thumbs up if you want me to do it, or thumbs down if you don't. I could go on a tangent too about the Dutch farmers. Thank God I'm not drinking tonight. Jesus, I'm still pissed about. All right, so Lowe's. Here we go. So, Sunday, basically, the dryer kicked. So the dryer kicks. Shit happens. I realize that's life. That's fine. So Monday we basically we order. What was it? Yeah, we basically order a dryer from Lowe's. We bought it. Whatever. We get a delivery date for today. So basically, when I got a dryer before, I'll name the company, George Washington Toma. I bought it in a pinch. I said to the guy, I'm like, hey, I need this quickly. The day that I moved into this place, they came down. They moved the dryer without removing my basement door, which is basically a accordion door. No problem. Like, in and out 5 minutes. So I was just like, okay, cool. So I basically just said, hey, when that was done, they took out my old washer and the old dryer. They said, hey, Mr. Vincent, have a good night. Have a good day. I'm just like, cool, whatever. So we're going to fast forward to Lowe's today. So the first thing that happens is, I bought a door that was I bought a door. I bought a dryer that was 27 inches. I know that fits like I know, because obviously the one downstairs is 27.5. 27. The width was 27, whatever. And they moved it without, moving the accordion door to my basement. So the guy comes over. I'm on a work call, and all of a sudden, my wife comes in and she goes, hey, they said they can't do it. And I look at him like, what are you talking about? So I get off my work call and I go to the guy and I go, what's the problem? And he goes, well, you have to remove the accordion door. And I just look at him, I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, I can't do it, man. I can't touch that door. And the guy is literally holding a freaking screwdriver in his hand. And not to mention, I know, Chris, you're watching. Not to mention, I know for a fact that this has been done before because I've seen it with my own fucking eyes by two dudes over at George Washington Toma, who, if they're watching right now, if you're two of our viewers, I will gladly buy you pizza and beers and a lemon eye, And so the guy looks again and he's just like, I just can't do it, man. He's like, we got to go. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, you really, they didn't even attempt it. This guy was like lazy as shit. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious right now? He's like, yeah, you're going to have to call Lowe's. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like, forget about F the dope of the day, F wonk of the week. Like, that's, I give those out for fun. Like, I'm like legit pissed. I go, dude, are you fucking serious? I didn't say fucking serious, but I was just like, you serious? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, got to call Lowe's. So finally, my wife and I, we're on. I was on a work call. My wife she had a call at 2. So finally we get out our own screwdriver, unscrew the freaking thing in 2 minutes. And, when we kind of calmed down a little bit, it was just like, all right, whatever. So then we call the guy. My wife calls the guy back and he goes, and it was literally 3 minutes later. And he goes, oh, well, we got the door off. And the guy's like, oh, hey, hon, you're going to have to call Lowe's back. And it's like, okay, bro. Number one, never talk to my wife like that. Number 2, you're a fucking lazy sack of shit. And number 3, you are dope of the day, wonk of the week, moron of the month. And finally, this is Robbie V, go fuck yourself. So Lowe's, I'll never buy anything from that place again. I'm sorry. Goodbye. So if you want a good place to go buy your stuff, don't go to Lowe's. It's not Robbie V approved anymore. It's not on Stock Talk Live. Rant over. I hope you enjoyed it, Chris. I know you're watching. Just, dude.
It sounds like when I got a replacement refrigerator from my apartment, and I asked the guy, while it's empty, can we switch the door handle so it opens the other way instead of opening from the wall to the kitchen island, and it opens the other way so people can walk through? And he's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You can't switch the handle. I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I have to put all my food and everything in the fridge and the freezer. And my dad came and I said, bring a power drill, and had to actually use my steamer to get some of the Loctite loose, but it ended up getting it, and I'm happy now.
Yeah,
I would have liked to do that while the fridge is empty and not plugged in, and we can just prop it up. Let's handle this in 2 minutes. Come on, man.
It's really sad when PC football has more competency than Lowe's. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, that was tough, huh? I didn't even wear this on purpose. I swear. No, I didn't. No,
it's all good. All good.
Because I was watching that game with my dad, and halfway through the third quarter, I'm like, this is done. Cuse is done.
We talk about and financially, we talk about customer service. There's a value in that. I will tell the story to God only knows how many people. Hopefully not up in Maine. If I start telling the story up in Maine and it's late night, just throw me in a cab or just throw me across the street. I don't really care. But it's just, dude, you have to be better than that. And yeah, I realize it's a third party
move by Cuse.
Oh no.
Cuse five losses in a row trying to plant the flag.
Yeah.
That's a wonk move.
I don't know. So basically, the end of the story is. Oh, but unfortunately, the story isn't really even over because we literally had to waste another hour after our meetings at like 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock respectively to reschedule a pickup on Friday. So won't spend another dime there. Ever the fuck.
And you got no door on the basement right now.
No, I have a door, and we have to have a door because Callie the Calico might try to be a home inspector again. So, yeah.
What a hassle.
Yeah, it's just fuck those, dude. Chris just put it best. So I'm gonna say I'm surprised though, really quick, that Tucker Carlson did he have he didn't do like a monologue or in the last couple, maybe he has, I don't watch him, but he didn't do like a huge monologue about this crypto thing because
that was the only clip that I saw. Somebody posted that just because he blurts out bribed.
Yeah, right.
I didn't catch any of the other part of the segment, just the highlight.
It's not,
we could segue that one with another clip.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of white collar crime, you ever seen those videos on YouTube where they got like the lineup and it's like all these people that have done prison time and they explain what they were in for?
Yeah.
So I found this one, and I didn't take this video, but they move their mouse so you can see like the title of the video, what it is. Here's a guy explaining how he committed white collar crime.
So I'm going to send you to prison.
So I pled guilty to a white collar crime, 1 count of conspiracy to commit fraud. I was a money manager in Century City at Bear Stearns and then UBS. And many years into my career, our team learned that a client of ours who managed a hedge fund was lying to his investors. Once we learned that he was lying, rather than stop the fraud, we turned the other way, in part because he was paying our company $100,000 a month, every single month, and all of us had grown somewhat addicted to the commissions. Of course, I always knew that it was wrong, and I was certainly deserved to be held accountable.
My conviction was
robbery. Was that next guy?
Yeah. Oh man, dude, you get used to that check.
You think that this doesn't happen?
It's never gonna end. It's like in 1998, 95 through 98, you couldn't tell anyone the market was going to go down. Then in 99, when the storm clouds gathered, everyone was like, "No, it's just temporary." No, it can happen to you too.
We got Credit Suisse credit default swaps skyrocketing. Whoa.
Yeah, 400 bit. So this story is like falling off the radar. 400 basis points is legit like a problem. I don't know what they settled today.
This chart goes back to 06.
Yeah. 06. Jesus. I don't think any other bank's credit CDS's trade even close to that. Even like, Bank of America, Goldman or whatever. God, 400 basis points, a ton of fucking money. But dude, you're losing $82 billion of your client's money is walking out the freaking door. That's a problem. And it's the whole thing with like what happened with Bear Stearns. Somebody, all of a sudden a rumor start happening. Hey, you're going to run out of money. And all of a sudden no one wants to be the last one to leave the bank. And, people just start pulling money and, they want collateral and all that stuff. It's not. 400 though, my God. If that goes, they've already got Oh, go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think FTX really screwed over a lot of people's collateral.
Oh, yeah, dude.
If all that just goes to zero, what else do you put up? You can't say, "Oh, I had all these crypto assets."
I don't think a lot of people,
or they never existed.
I don't think though a lot of people like are gonna like a lot of banks are gonna take crypto for collateral. Unfortunately, I don't think crypto's hit like that point in its life cycle yet. You know what I mean? For like
or FTX stock, even that.
Yeah, but most of the like if you like for a lot of like collateral like is definitely in like the like bonds and whatnot, like treasuries and whatnot. I don't think we're ever going to see it. I mean, not in our lifetime, at least, like crypto being like, hey, like this, this future trade is going to be supported by 100 Bitcoins. I think I'll be dead and in the ground before that happens. Well, maybe I won't. I mean, who knows? That's not a prediction, by the way. That's not a Robbie V prediction. No. I'm actually reading about Credit Suisse right now. I mean, their bonds tanked as well. And their stock tanked. I mean, it's not a surprise.
Bank of Japan, unrealized loss for the first time in 16 years.
That's crazy. A real unrealized loss, like wow, that's. I mean, but they were.
I don't know enough to comment on that. I saw the headline.
Well, they were propping up the yen, and I mean, when you're the only one that's propping it up, that's kind of a problem. And the yen continued to drive higher, even though even on many interventions from the Bank of Japan. I don't know what the yen is trading at right now, but I remember reading articles like back when the yen was like 130, I believe. Hold on. Let me just pull up a current currency thing here. Oh, where's the dollar? Jesus Christ. Yeah, FX. Yeah, the yen right now is at like 136. So I think the Bank of Japan has been buying like all the way up through like 120, 125, 130, 135. So, and I think even higher than that. I'm not going to I'll pull up a chart. What the hell? And, when you're taking those losses, like, yeah, you are going to get smashed, unfortunately.
So 1 yen is like 0.7 of a penny.
Yeah. I mean, the Bank of Japan, back in October, literally was probably intervening in the market at 150. So if their yens are like 130, and it's basically had to intervene, basically since April, like because 123, even 127 in June. I mean, yeah, you are going to take heavy losses if the value of your currencies keeps going down, and yet you still have to intervene to keep it from going off to the races, or to even keep it like afloat, basically. Yeah, they've also done some, they've also have not made the smartest financial decisions over there. Yeah.
Speaking internationally, I saw this chart just before we went live. It's a currency, but Germany's food price inflation year over year. Whoa.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I think that's global.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going up here too, so.
No, definitely.
Something interesting I saw.
That's what gets me like why would you, like the Dutch have, and for those people who don't watch the show or tune in regularly or miss my rants in favor of the Dutch farmers, basically the EU wants to cut nitrogen output, whatever, and they want to supposedly the farms are the biggest issue in Dutch. It's not like the thousands of other industries. It's it's the farmers. It's the real problem. If you're wondering if I'm being sarcastic, yeah, So basically, there's a plan now to close 3,000 farmers, basically against the will of the Dutch and the Netherlands and whatnot. And in light of spiking food inflation, food insecurities across the world, please let me know in what world does this make any sense. And especially with hit the post put up the chart about food inflation. It only proves that if anything, we need like more stable food sources and more farming. And what really makes no sense is the Netherlands is one of the biggest food exporters globally in the world. So to close 3,000 farms for just cutting nitrogen really doesn't make much of a fucking sense at all. I mean, you have to wonder what is really behind this. I mean, I don't really feel like going to follow that, but I have my theories. It's just and you do see, and you are right at the post. I mean, you do see food inflation. You're starting to see prices come down because people aren't just because people just aren't buying the things that they used to. I mean, it just doesn't. And Germany and France and other nations, unfortunately, are going to suffer the economic impact because of that. I mean, you can't just get hammered and drink wine all day. You have to eat your vegetables. Hate to break it to you.
That's right.
I don't know. Just the market move today. I mean, first off, I saw the green light. Was GME up a ton today? Because it should have been.
Huh? 1-ish%.
1-ish, yeah. Oil
basically just trading sideways for months.
Yeah, oil's up to $80 a barrel. That didn't take long. I mean, the China COVID lockdowns, and for all those who
scary stuff.
Yeah,
really scary stuff.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to?
Yeah, I don't want to get political or anything, but I saw the clip on CNN. Dr. Fauci confirmed that they are locking people in their homes in China. Like I saw the videos and everything. You can say what you want about those, but he's on CNN saying, yeah, they're locking people in their homes. I mean, I saw doors wired shut, welded shut. Maybe you saw that story, the apartment building caught on fire. Everybody's trapped inside because they're locked inside their homes. That's disturbing.
Yeah, absolutely.
People aren't happy. They're revolting.
No, and you're probably wondering you're probably wondering why we would discuss this on Stock Talk Live. So the oil market today is up to $80 a barrel. Earlier this week, it was I think on Monday, it was at 72. And just to show you how much China actually means to world oil demand, as soon as those lockdowns in Shanghai, Beijing, and other provinces in China, the oil market will go down. It's that simple because the demand is insatiable over there. And if there's any sign on the oil market from China that economic activity is declining or whatever, oil is going to go down. Oil is up to $80 a barrel, basically based off of they're going to be pushing back the lockdowns and whatnot. As for the social unrest, I mean,
they're forcibly locking people down. Like the footage is really disturbing. I mean, these guys in white hazmat suits. I watched them grab a lady, and I'm pretty sure someone's arm is not supposed to hyperextend that way. It looked like they just grabbed her, snapped her arm, and dragged her away.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah. I'll just say this. It's one of the more disturbing things I've ever seen. I actually, my Twitter feed is a lot of financial stuff, and I follow. I mean, you can make a whole bunch of grand statements and gestures about the Dutch and the farmers and stuff like that, but half joke around, have a few pops and joke. But what's happening obviously in China is just morally reprehensible, and and to all the people who are like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, there's been a lot of people on Twitter, I think, and who have had firsthand accounts of what is happening, and and the thing that you mentioned with the fire is just, it's inhumane. It's awful. and
it's really disturbing and scary.
Yeah,
I mean, I watched them just grab this lady, and it looked like they just broke her arm and dragged her away.
Yeah, and I mean the fire that everyone is rightfully very upset about is awful. And just, and like, and if you're wondering why, like, again, I mean, this isn't a financial thing, but there's a human side to all this. I don't know how this ends well for a lot of companies that are involved. I mean, Apple basically shut down their thing so the Foxconn workers couldn't communicate. There's been multiple riots across Shanghai, Beijing. I mean, tanks are moving. There's multiple Twitter photos of that, and it's not the best time.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
On those lockdowns, if this starts to become a regular, they're locking people down for, Fauci said over 100 days is no good. If they're locking people down over there for so long, I did see, not financial advice, but something to monitor. Pfizer's forming a bull flag on the 1 month chart. So might be worth taking a look at. PFE is their ticker. Pfizer forming a bull flag is declining, and a little technical analysis. We might expect a run up, but something to watch.
No, definitely.
And I noticed, I'm going to bring it back to GameStop. We're big on that golden cross back in I think it was August or September was the golden cross. Like a week or two later, actually had a death cross. I don't even know if I mentioned that. Like that's my bias reporting. Everybody's got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, did have that death cross immediately after, like within 2 weeks. I thought that was interesting. The last clip that I have is GameStop related, and they don't mention it. The meme stocks are kind of labeled the unmentionables in some communities. So there's a couple CNBC panelists not mentioning GameStop, but talking about GameStop.
F over to the poor retail people that like to buy companies that may or may not ever make any money and then get mad when they don't go up.
Well, it's kind of funny because I've never been short these names, but
people think you are. Right. They think we are. I mean, so there's a lot of villains they're looking for, a lot of conspiracy.
It gets so tinfoil hat. It really gets insane.
Unbelievable.
In those spaces.
Oh no! Did you see the one Becky had? There was Carson. There was something that was EOJ, and someone said, and they were short some things, and they said,
"Oh, you told me."
They said that was me. E period, O period, J period was doing something. They said, "See, this is it." Because my name's Joe. Could have been Joe Biden.
Conspiracy theories about it.
Could have been Joe Manchin. Could have been. I mean, there's a few. Joe Montana. There's a lot of Joes.
Yeah, logic does not prevail in those circles.
Now, if it was NOSRAC, there aren't many Carsons. That I would know. Yeah.
I was going to say, how'd you do that? I
was looking at the prompter. No, I went that way. All right, Carson, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, see you.
All right, when we come back, it is Giving Tuesday. We're going to get some smart ways to give, and maybe...
yesterday.
Joe Kernan, huh?
And you know what they're really talking about? I think he made up that EOJ, and people were saying it was him. The real I looked to see if I had it. Not able to find it right now, but somebody in the Super Stonk community found a company. It was Citadel spelled backwards. I believe I covered that.
Yeah, I mean,
a weird coincidence.
It's really weird that like Joe Kernan. I mean, to be honest with you, I remember watching him when he was in '95, like when I first started watching CNBC, in the mornings. I mean, it was him and David Faber who used to work the phones and get the stories and whatnot. And to see him morph into like what he is now, I mean, it's just really, it's not sad. I mean, hey, he's had a great career, but I sometimes wonder if they really believe what they're showing, about the meme stocks. Because some of the stuff, I mean, they reported on much smaller companies back in the day, on CNBC. It's
just doing another scan. Let me see if I can find that.
I mean, it's just, it's wild times out there, to say the least. I'm surprised Twitter's been making freaking headlines all over the place the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Elon is just having a ball, to say the least.
Yeah, not to get too political. I'm excited for that. He's going to release information regarding why the laptop story was censored. He said that's necessary to restore public trust.
Yeah, I saw that. And I mean, Zelensky invited him to Ukraine, which...
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I guess it was on Zero Hedge like this afternoon or something. No, I mean, there's just a lot of interesting things going on and Twitter just keeps making headlines. I mean, they're not publicly traded anymore, but my God, I mean, you would think that they were, because
users are up reportedly.
I think users are definitely up. I mean, you're starting to see a lot more people like gravitate towards the platform. I'm surprised Trump hasn't tweeted out yet, but
I got my Truth Social invite, so I'm over there.
I'm sure he's just waiting for that check or whatever. No, it's definitely been a crazy week in the markets. I mean, who knows? Yeah. I don't know.
Next week's gonna be spicy too. I can't wait for earnings next week.
Yeah.
Now, I've talked about this before. The earnings calls themselves are incredibly boring.
They always are.
But it's you can just like look at tweets and stuff to get the synopsis. It's really not worth listening into, because I have called in and listened. It's usually the CFO or CEO just giving a quick rundown. They don't take questions or anything. But the filing we expect should have updated DRS numbers. That's directly registered shares. And that's what's really exciting to me.
No, it's going to be very interesting to see what GME does next week. It's also going to be interesting to see if there's any more talk about interest rates and whatnot. I mean, I don't think they have inflation under control completely, but I think Jay Powell is probably going to put the kibosh on 0.75. I think he'll probably go 0.5, unfortunately. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt to do 0.75, but what are you going to do? There's not much. I mean, what is interesting is the housing numbers keep going down, and China is actually contracting on
I have a good graphic.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you can keep going.
Oh
keep
yeah,
going.
no,
I have a good graphic for housing.
Yeah, I mean, China's numbers that keep falling off a cliff in their economy with manufacturing and whatnot. Ours are not the best either. Europe's having problems. It definitely makes you wonder how much the market can go up. I mean, it's at 34.5 as you said before, but it definitely, I don't know. On the heels of the 700-point rally, I don't think there's going to be much of a follow through tomorrow. But that's just one man's opinion. Not financial advice. It was kind of. Oh yeah. There's no way that's sustainable.
That's wild. Makes me want to move to Mississippi.
Yeah, I know. I know, right?
Louisiana.
No, I don't know where that's to.
Let's get a nice place in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah. My wife's family's down in North Carolina. If I ever got a remote job, just actually, I don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. Get a nice cheap place in Mississippi and work remote.
Yeah, I wish. So I still have to go to the office 2 days a week. Yesterday was worthless because everyone was watching World Cup. Not me, but I had calls all day, so I was just like,
Me neither. I work.
Yeah, I had a game on I had the game like the ESPN on my phone, like the thing that they do. I was happy US beat Iran. I'll be even happier when they beat the Netherlands at 9 in the morning on Saturday. Fire it up.
10? Thought it was 10.
Yeah, it's probably 10. I don't know. Is it 10? I think coverage starts at 9 on Fox. But what was interesting was so of all things, gun sales on Black Friday were actually a record high.
10 confirmed.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been in the market for a shotgun, but I think a new PC is going to have to take precedence.
Yeah. I was a little surprised that it's like I wasn't. I mean, just the vibe. People are interested to know where all of those sales occurred. I put it that way, to see what suburbs and even in the city and whatnot. Yeah. But it's not like Robbie V's got an arsenal, which I don't. So in case the feds are watching, the PC is mightier than the pen.
The pen being a shotgun?
Yeah. I was wondering where that was
I
going.
guess. I don't know. I see all these Syracuse.com articles of, somebody got shot on the south side of Syracuse. I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is 2 streets over from where I live.
Yeah.
I live in a nice complex, but, a mile and a half away is not that nice.
Yeah. Yeah, some moron. I'm just going to stop that. Somebody, unfortunately, got shot and murdered, whatever you want, in an apartment complex down the road from us. Outside. I don't know what
just this week, a house got hit by a stray bullet and injured like an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's just.
That was on the west side, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the pen's mightier than the sword, an old saying. The PC mightier than the pen. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Original Barstool, shout out.
I mean, I hope the market's gonna. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's much higher than I thought it was gonna be, so I'll take that L. But
I did so good on my stock game on Microsoft Edge this week. The last 2 days, I only missed 1 pick out of 5.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad at all.
I made virtual currency both days, today and yesterday.
Nice.
And like I said, I play that game every morning. It gives you 5 pairs of stocks. What would you invest $1,000 in? And it'll accumulate your returns. Lately, the name of the game is pick the one that loses the least. Costco was a winner. If you happen to play the game, Costco's a winner. Always pick Marathon, Chevron. Those are big winners for oil and gas stocks. And Nikola and Rivian are 2 huge losers. Never pick those ones.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One thing I will say is a shout out to from Stock Talk Live to the Hingham Police, Hingham Fire, Hingham Norwell Fire, Norwell Police, Situate Fire, Cohasset Police, Cohasset Fire, and everyone who responded to the unfortunate incident that happened at Derby Street Shops, which is basically a mile at my house in Hingham from my house in Weymouth, with the car that drove through the shop.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like major news around here. Shout out to them.
I guess that got lost in my brain because somebody drove into like a sub shop in Rochester and then that Apple store as well.
Yeah, no. Shout out to all those guys who assisted those poor people.
Absolutely.
Who were affected, and rest in peace to the poor person that passed away. It's really sad. And I don't agree with Tim Cook on everything, but he did come out and
Tim Apple.
Yeah, Tim Apple, whatever his name was. He no, I mean he actually did come out to Hingham and met with everybody, and Apple's providing assistance and whatnot. It's just a very unfortunate incident. And supposedly the guy said the accelerator just hit the floor, but I can say I'm 99.9% sure that was probably deliberate.
It's another one I'm watching is Apple. If Elon Musk is going to go to war, if he's going to war with Apple, I wonder if it starts tanking.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's a war Elon can win, though. So many people love Apple. But I don't know. I mean, it's one way to go. I mean, the guy has no fear. Say that for him. But, was it? I think I don't really have much of anything else. I think it's only.
I know with the holiday, I slowed down my information gathering. I put together a good amount. I'm going to send you an article after we sign off to get your take on it.
Yeah, no. Just keep your eyes up, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Because be prepared. Winter's just started. It's going to be a long one. But there's only one thing left to do,
Yeah. Pump it up.
Pump it up.
See you next week.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.